Introduce yourself and your newspaper and just ask one question at a time in order to facilitate the simultaneous translation. We can start the press conference. Good morning, Gianni Balzarini, Mediaset. Good morning, Matthijs. You are considered a top player in your role, so you're not 20 yet. So how much does it matter to be like that in your mind? Because it seems you know exactly what you want.
Well, still young, but I've got some experience from the last years with Ajax, playing 3 years in the first team, and I made a lot of minutes on the pitch. So I think I've got a lot of experience for 90 years old. But that's why I want to make this step to get more experience and to learn from those players. Because compared to them, I'm just the starter. So hopefully I can get them for them.
Francesco Fusati, Sky Sport. I would like to ask you your sensations about these first days, first hours, the fact that you've been here with all your family here in Turin. So what does that mean, being a 19-year-old boy? And what about the first transfer in your career, as you've always played in Ajax?
Yes, it's a really
Big step. It's the first step outside of my home country. So obviously in the beginning it's something I have to get used to. But I was really honored how the Juventus fans welcomed me, and I was really proud of that. And I hope I can give them much back. Filippo Conticello, Gazzetta dello Sport. Can we just go back to the Nations League final, Netherlands, Portugal, when Cristiano came closer and he asked you to come to Juventus? Can you tell us something more about that specific moment? And did those words convince you to make such a decision to come here? At that moment, I was figuring out what I wanted to do, which club I wanted to join after the summer. And I already had an idea which one it was, but I always said to Mino that I will decide after the Nations League. So then the season is over and I can enjoy my vacation and get some rest. And then after the vacation, join a new club. At that moment, I was pretty sure it was Juventus, but obviously it was really nice that someone big like Cristiano Ronaldo told me that he asked me if I wanted to join Juventus. So, well, it was a big compliment, but it was not the difference between joining or don't join.
Ja, dat kan het.
So we can now also speak Dutch. Welcome. The day you understood you would come to Italy, you made a huge decision. So how long did you know you would make such a decision? Well, it was a decision I reflected upon for quite a while. So I knew I would wait for the end of the summer, but I already said I would make such a decision to join Juventus because for me it was very important to take such a step outside my home country and outside Ajax as well. But more or less I decided that after the first final. Well, you look very calm, very quiet, serene. So you are 19 years old. There are newspapers have been writing pages and pages about you. So why are you so calm? Yes, I know that I look very calm and quiet. I know there are lots of people that are particularly happy that I've joined Juventus. But obviously, there have been other reactions to this decision of mine. So this means I have to get used to a new environment, a new sporting culture, and I truly hope I will be able to do the best with my performance. Nerozzi, Corriere della Sera, Corriere Torino, would like to ask you two questions. First, if during the transfer you got in contact with Maurizio Sarri on the phone, and if the way he plays football influenced your decision. And then yesterday we saw a picture of you when you were young. Okay, I'll ask you this question later.
I spoke to him on the phone, really short, just to get to know each other, and nothing more. And well, he's also one of the reasons I wanted to come to Juventus, because I heard a lot of good stories about him, the way he plays, the philosophy he has, the attacking football, the defending line, how we prepare them. So obviously that was a big reason to come here.
And then I would like to ask you, yesterday I saw on Instagram a picture of you when you were young with the Juventus jersey. So why did you have that? Was that a present? Were there any players at Juventus that you particularly admired at that time?
Yes, I think I was like 7 years old at that time. I think it was in 2006, 2007, and yeah, if you are a defender, I think you already know which player I admired at that moment. It was Fabio Cannavaro, the player who won the World Cup 2006, who won the Ballon d'Or 2006. So yeah, I think at that moment I was really a big fan of him. But I obviously always had a good feeling with Juventus. It's a big club, it's a great club. So I was a fan of them when I was young.
Guido Vaciago, Tuttosport, I would like to ask you your impressions about the Juventus supporters and also the Juventus environment and atmosphere. Is that something bigger than Ajax, so especially considering the reputation that you will get here?
When we played here with Ajax in the Champions League quarterfinal, I was shocked about the defense. They were really shouting the whole game, even when it was 1-2. It was incredible. They made an incredible atmosphere and they really support the team. So for me, it's going to be a big challenge to play for them, and I will give my all for them. But obviously, it's a really great stadium. It's not small, but close to each other. So every sound you hear really loud. So I think it's an incredible stadium with great fans.
Marco Venditti.
Marco Venditti, Action News. This is a club that has won everything here in Italy and also abroad, but for quite a while has not been winning the Champions League. So what have you heard about it? Do you know that this is something that is really, really important? So winning this competition that unfortunately have not been winning for quite a while. What do you know about it?
There are 3 competitions where we can play for. It's maybe 4 with the Super Cup. So it's the Championship, the Coppa Italia and Champions League. And we will see every game what we want to do. We want to win everything, I think. That's the most important thing. And every competition you play, I think a club like Juventus want to win. So that wouldn't be different this year.
Ciao Matthijs.
Hello, Matthijs. Alberto Mauro Messaggero, would like to ask you, so in order to take this step ahead, you have chosen Juventus and not Barcelona or PSG that were also interested in you. So why did you decide to come here?
As I said, it was a long process. I was just looking what was good for me. I think Italy is known as the country of defending. I think it's the country that loves defending the most in the world. If you talk about Italian players, for me the most common names that come up are the defenders. But for me, it was also a big challenge to make a new step. They give me a lot of confidence. They showed me that they really wanted me. So I was really proud and proud to join this club. And there are several reasons why I choose this club, but in the end, it was the feeling that made the difference.
Ciao, ben arrivato.
Hello, welcome, Antonio Paulino, Radio Bianconero. 2 questions. The first, I would like to ask you what strikers at 90 years old as you are that are more difficult to mark, and especially when you played against Juventus, what difficulties did you encounter while playing against the black and white strikers?
I think we have a lot of different types of attackers. We have, for example, everybody knows Ronaldo. I think he's a really good goal scorer. He's a predator in the box. We have someone like Mandzukic, more like a target man, strong and good with the head. We have someone like Douglas Costa, who is really fast. So we have different types, and every type has his own quality. So I don't think these attackers are easy to defend. Everybody has his own style, and it's really difficult to play against them. But for me, it's going to be a big challenge where I can learn from every day.
Seconda domanda.
Second question. I would like to ask you, so Ajax keeps cuddling you on the social media because the fact that they gave Juventus a young player that can further grow and develop. So what about the features of a defender like you that can be useful for the Italian Championship and Juventus? What can you give them?
Well, I think it comes from both sides. For me, I think in Holland it's a lot about building up from the back. It's a lot about defending high. And I think Italy is more like the zonal marking and more to defend together. So I think I can help them and they can help me. And I think that's the great combination between me and Juventus.
Ciao Matthijs.
Hello, Matthijs. Claudio Zuliani, Juventus TV. Welcome. You are a complete player. You can mark. You can decide the game. You're very good at headers. You score goals. So what is the technical aspect that you want to improve here at Juventus in particular?
I want to thank you for the compliment, but I'm now coming to Juventus and I'm still young. I'm 19, so I think I have room to improve. What I say there are some differences between Ajax and Juventus, but in the end, for me, it's important to work every day really hard and to show that I want to learn and I can improve. I think all the attributes I have. So for me, it's a big challenge to come here and to improve. So I hope in the future I will become a better player.
Ciao, ancora io.
Still me, Vaciago Tutto Sport. I would like to ask you, so what about the burden of the price that has been paid for you? You're one of the most expensive players in the history of the club.
Well, pressure is normal in football, I think. And of course, when a club buys you for a big amount of money, you have a lot of pressure, but pressure is normal in football. I think pressure is the most important thing, and if you want to be a good player, you have to deal with this pressure. So for me, it's not a big deal. I just play my game. I just want to improve. I just want to work hard, and then I have to show it on the pitch. So in the end, everybody will see how I'm going to do it, but for me, it's not a problem.
Benvenuto Matthijs.
Welcome, Matthijs, Giorgio Musa, calciomercato.it. I would like to ask you, what about number 4? What does it represent for you? And in the Champions League, what do you think is the most dangerous opponent for the final?
Well, the number 4 for me is a special number because in the youth of Ajax I always play with number 4 and in the first team also. At Juventus, the number was 3, and I heard a lot of good stories about number 4 from the past in Juventus, Montero, and so I have some legacy to fulfill, but I'm really proud to wear the number 4 at Juventus, and I hope I can achieve much things here.
Tu vieni da una squadra.
You come from a club where there were lots of young players, you, the young at the back, and now you're getting into a club where the leadership is made by older players. Just think that when you were born, Buffon had already won a UEFA Cup. So how do you experience this change in the generations?
It's different with Ajax. At Ajax, we had a lot of young players. We had a lot of young players with some experienced guys. But here, the most of the players are older with much more experience. So for me, it's just important to learn from this experience and to make my game better with this experience. So I'm really happy to be here and to learn every day with those guys like Buffon, Chiellini, Ronaldo. So for me, it's a big challenge, but I love it.
Quali sono I tuoi
What about your personal goals for this season? So you want to grow, you want to improve, you want to play as a regular player as much as possible, win. So what about your personal objectives in the list that you have made personally?
For me, the most important thing is, I think, to adapt to a new team, a new country, new culture. And that's the most important thing. And then I want to, of course, you want to play. Every player wants to play, but it's important for me to improve, to show what you can every day on the pitch, and then we will see where it ends. But obviously, yeah, as a player, you want to play, so I have to show it on training every day, and then we'll see who's playing.
Altre domande? Basta?
That's all. Thank you very much indeed.